Hello, hello, welcome. This is Yonks with Solar EV, and this is our very first working group for the Community Energy Innovation Prize. And I'm joined here with Tyler, Mrs. Yonks, and Nick. Welcome, good afternoon, everybody. And we've got a lot of agendas, so we're just gonna hop right in here because that's what we do on our working groups is we actually get stuff done. So I'm gonna go right over here. We build in public. This is our Notion database project management tool for keeping track of all of the stuff. And this is our agenda and meeting notes here for today. So again, one of the things that we will continue to talk about is we are absolutely still accepting new teammates for our project. And let me actually go ahead and open up our project page here on solarevcoop.org, make this a little bit bigger for everybody on the live stream. So CEIP, Community Energy Innovation Prize, not going to spend time. Here's our team that we are assembling. And again, we are looking for more people because we're wanting to build a model that we can scale. We're launching here in Colorado in 2024, but the opportunity to create clean energy that's community owned and operated is in everybody's best interest. And also have a link on the calendar at cal.com/yonks. So anyway, this agenda should be linked all over the place. So I'm not going to go into any details on that right now. So one of the things that we love doing is building from event to event. Right now, we had an absolutely fabulous kickoff event Friday in person and online. And that's one of the things that we're going to get a lot better at is creating hybrid events because it just provides more flexibility for people to plug in. And we had in total, myself and Tyler, plus 4 additional people that hadn't heard of our project before. And then we had 1 new person. So 5 new people. I think it was a total of 9 people between in-person and online Friday for our kickoff event for Community Energy Innovation.
That was
Go ahead, Tyler.
And we actually got one of our new guests to set up a Web3 wallet for the first time. So he was super interested in engaging. So this stuff is really, it really matters. It was really fun to get that going with him.
Yeah, and I think that just amplifies the importance of an in-person component because, like, based upon the circumstances, I would guess with a fair degree of certainty that this person wouldn't have actually done that if we weren't there to help them through that particular process. So anyway, moving on, one of the things that we also do besides the working group, like what we're plugging into right now is an office hours. And Let Us Meet is one of the tools that we've used for finding when the best time is. And since this is our very first, and I'll probably rename this to Office Hours 1 for Community Energy Innovation Prize. So this is one of the tools, and I'm going to link this here on the live stream, and I'm going to open up. So bear with me a minute because I'm actually going to link it through our Restream dashboard so that it goes out to all of the applicable channels. And let me go into the, here it is, link to Let Us Meet for upcoming office hours next week. So the office hours, we're really wanting this to be a much more casual dynamic. And this is one of the things, it's looking right now that based upon the heat map that we'll probably be doing this on Monday afternoon. And right now we're in Mountain Time. Most of the team is in Mountain Time. So it's looking like unless things change substantially, and shoot, like we're on a working group, let's go ahead and nail this in. Let's go ahead and put the time here for 2 to 3 tomorrow. So this is something that we can put on our calendars for tomorrow. And this is something that if we have time, I would like to circle back and potentially discuss what we want to potentially do during our office hours tomorrow. And that's something to be thinking about here throughout our working group today. So if you, Tyler, could help remind me of that as we get closer. And let me just make a note of that here too. Next actions, time permitting, discuss office hours agenda for tomorrow. Okay, cool. All right, go ahead and close down close this down. So this is one of the things for now. The link tree is our homepage. This is something that I'm linking as our project links there at solarevcoop.org. So this is something that I cleaned up a little bit. And this is also a new playlist that I created right here on YouTube. The working group that we're on right now will go on to this. Right now, we just have our kickoff event there. So that's just one of the ways to try to keep things more organized as far as from a consumption standpoint. And anyway, moving on down the agenda here. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is the link to register. So this again is functionally the kickoff week for Community Energy Innovation Prize. And I'm going to click on this link here. So here's the registration page. Let me make this a little bit bigger on the live stream. I'm going to throw this in the Zoom. If you haven't registered for this here, go ahead and do that. And here's the link. So the more that you understand the prize here, the better that we can submit and the more that you can contribute as far as from an adding of a thoughts standpoint. And there will be likely a replay available. I'm going to make my best effort to attend this in person here coming up on a couple days. I can't remember what day it is, but this is the link to the webinar. And this is the first time that the U.S. Department of Energy is actually hosting the Community Energy Innovation Prize. Like the first HeroX that we submitted for on September the 27th, our solar EV project, was Solar Prize Round 7, which was the 7th one. So this is the, and let me actually just go back to our link tree there real quick, solarevcoop.org. And here is our team page. And what I was wanting to actually show was the underlying prize. So Community Energy Innovation Prize provides support, build trust, and strengthen partnerships with underserved communities while advancing the clean energy transition. This is a pretty simple narrative to fulfill. And one of the partnerships that I'm really looking forward to creating and fostering is with colleges. And you can actually see that there's a different track. We're not a college, so we're not going to be submitting under the collegiate track, but we absolutely do have the opportunity to bring this to interesting colleges here. Like one that comes to mind that I'm going to drive conversations surrounding is the Front Range Community College. They have a campus here in North Denver that's very close to me. And if they had DC fast charging through our solar EV model, I would absolutely patron that DC fast charging station here in the North Denver area. So we'll be talking more about different partnerships that we can do to really drive an underlying narrative. And we'll have a lot more to talk about that here during our next working group, because there will be a lot more information through the webinar. And the more of us that participate in that, the more that we'll be able to have a solid conversation next week during our working group on that. So did you, Amy, have an opportunity to participate in the collegiate track webinar here this last week?
Okay, I'm trying to find unmute. I tried to log in. They needed a code and they didn't send me a code. And I don't know why not. So, but I think it should be in replay. And I haven't watched the replay yet.
Yeah, and that's something that I was actually planning to do here as well. And let me see if there was an update that they had that. So there is right here. So there is the replay. And here's an update that they just posted literally a couple days ago. So take a look at the updates. And this is one of the things I'm going to just scroll through here real quick. So one of the opportunities to meet the power connectors, and this is actually something that I have on our agenda. Let me scroll down to that. So here's the link. I didn't share that in the Zoom. I think I shared it on the live stream for everybody. I did share it on the live stream. So let me collapse these here because this is the one that I was wanting to talk about next. So there's a community office hours that's held by a power connector. And this was, let me meet the power connectors. So this is at the Clean Energy Business Network, and the links that I had here, here is the link on the forum to the Power Connector Support Office Hours. And this is hosted by Ali Judge at the Clean Energy Business Network. And I was, we'll talk about that here because coming up, because this isn't until the 27th, but if you want to register for that, the link is on the agenda here. And we'll talk about that between now, because that's coming up here at the end of October. All right, so that was the upcoming opportunities here. And again, this is something that I'm going to do my best to maintain here on our project page as far as opportunities, because that's one of the things that we want to make sure that everybody has information as far as participating in upcoming opportunities. So one of the things that we're obviously focused on building our community solar project, Solar EV, here in Colorado. And this is one of the things that we want to talk about here, because this is the, and let me just open up this page so that you can all see here. So the CCSA, they have their homepage at communitysolarnews.org. And here's the link that discussing, and just throwing that on the live stream for everybody and on the Zoom for everybody. So the CCSA recognized 5 people here in Colorado, and this is something that we'll unpack more in details, but it looks like there was yet another House bill that was passed in favor of the community solar regulations here in Colorado. It was House Bill for 2023 1137. And again, I already linked up. So this has to do with the net metering credits. And that's one of the important components that it will be talking about that makes the community solar program viable. One of the things that I'm really excited about, though, is with us building a truly distributed energy resource where we're looking to generate, store, and distribute the energy on site through EV charging, we may not even need to have a grid interconnection with Excel, because we're really looking, and one of the other House bills that was passed that came up on our radar was that there's not any local municipality that can prohibit the installation of EV charging. So this is something that we're very well positioned here in Colorado. And this is actually something that on our project homepage, and let me just bounce over there real quick so that you all can take a look and see that. So here's our project homepage, and these kinds of resources are something that we're adding. Why Colorado is the best site for us to build solar EV. So we've got decades of experience, and I'm not going to go into that because we've got an agenda to unpack here. So I'm going to go ahead and move on here. And this is something that I think there's a great opportunity to connect with these people that these regulated state register. Anyway, the people that were mentioned in here, and this is something that I'll talk to Tyler offline about, and then we'll post an update here to everybody on our next working group. So with this being our first working group for Community Energy Innovation Prize, and this is something that I kind of mentioned before we went live, we really like, this is functionally our 10th working group that we've held here in the last couple of months for building our solar EV project. And we had some deadlines that we were really under the gun for. True story, like on the Community Power Accelerator Round 2, I mentioned and circulated to the team, we had 1 minute. The email, the confirmation email was 1 minute prior to the deadline that I was submitting there in Vegas. So we've got a lot more runway on the Community Energy Innovation Prize. And one of the things that we're going to do here today is just take a step back and talk about best practices. And that's one of the things that I added here in our solar EV project priorities. And this is something that is synced across pretty much. There's not going to be a event where we're talking about solar EV that we're not talking about the solar EV project priorities. And that's one of the things that I love in Notion is this kind of functionality. So here's some of the best practices that put under this toggle heading, community code of conduct. So that's actually something that we're going to implement here today. And organizational governance. This is something and we'll talk more about organizational governance here, not too much today, but that's something that we'll continue to talk about. Cell culture, fun, earning, and learning. This is something that I don't want to personally host an event if I'm not having fun, earning, and learning. So that's one of the things that we're going to incorporate. JEDI, justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. One of the things that we'll probably talk a little bit about here, time permitting, is the B-Lab assessment. And then also industry specific. So there's a lot of industry specific things that we're doing here, like communities, solar, EV charging. So one of the things that is an important aspect of our community solar is implementing best practices. So there's actually a really solid, and I haven't been through it myself. I'm going to link up everybody here. Building with benefits. And that's a resource that I would encourage everybody to take a look at. They actually have an entire webinar series here. So this is something that I'm going to commit to going through here between now and our next working group and kind of see if I can put together some takeaways. I think that we already put forward a really solid aspect. And let me actually find our one-pager here real quick, because this is one of the things that I'm really excited about, is really confident that we'll be able to provide a guaranteed savings program for our community subscribers, and then also the DC fast EV charging. So let's see, solar EV, one pager. All right, so here is the solar EV one pager. So not going to go into details on what this, but the main thing that I was wanting to show was the guaranteed electricity savings here in this lower quadrant. And this is one of the things that really excited about. We should be able to offer a 90% guaranteed savings for normal customers. I don't even think that we're honestly going to spend that much time on this particular one. The main focus that we have is to get a minimum of 10 low to moderate income subscribers. The 10 is the number that Excel has put forward. So that's something that I think that we need to develop fairly early. And I'm not sure from a timing standpoint, it's not something that really want to talk too much about today, but it's something that we need to talk about here in October. And then the 75% cost for gig workers. So anyway, I'm going to get back to our agenda here. So on the community code of conduct, so let's go ahead, and I wanted to see if we could just copy this in here. So this is the markdown version. So here is our GitHub page for Solar EV Co-op. And like I mentioned off offline, Nick. I'll get you added as a contributor, really wanting this to be more your area of expertise. You're I'm sure a lot better at the GitHub than I am. So I go ahead. I saw you had your mic open, so go ahead and feel free to chime in here.
Sure. Yeah, no, that sounds like a great plan. I can definitely take over that and lead that.
And I think the open source guide had a your code of conduct. So this is what we're talking about implementing here, the code of conduct, because I think that they actually had some parameters as far as where this needs to go in the repo. I think it needs to be in the root directory. Have you put one of these in on a GitHub organization before, Nick?
I've built GitHub organizations, and then I've added repos and added the open source. There's some licenses that you can add based off of the open source licenses that we want to use. So I've done all of that. If that answers the question there. Oops.
Well, I'm not gonna spend any more time. We'll get this figured out offline and put our contributor covenant code of conduct. This is version 2.1, and this is just very copy and paste. And I'm pretty sure that this has to go into a specific location on our GitHub repo. So we'll put that as a next action. I'll move this down here from here to down below to our carryover. Okay. So before we move on, as far as this is one of the things that I did want to talk about. I came across a pretty fabulous article here from how DAOs could bring organizational trust and transparency. And the more that we can use solid reference points within our communication. So the Wharton School of Business is largely regarded as one of the best schools of businesses in the world. And this is, I haven't read through this entire article. I scanned over it. And the more that we can add, because this is actually a toolkit, Decentralized Autonomous Organization Toolkit. Because one of the things that we need to do is we need to create an organization that has the governance that can exist without ourselves, but then also from an investor confidence standpoint, when we get our security token offering ready, that people are confident that they open up their wallet and invest in our project, that we'll be good stewards with the money and do what we say that we're going to do with those funds. So this is one of the things that we'll be talking about is best practices. And I'm going to link this up for everybody here on the live stream and in Zoom as well. And besides the this particular page, there's also the PDF that I had linked on our agenda as well. So the other thing too, I don't know if I had any other, I don't have anything else. This is actually where I wanted to go into, and somebody keep me on track here. I didn't really have a time frame, but I only want to really allow for 10 minutes of our B Corp assessment review. And let's see, B Lab, B Corp. So let's actually give 13 minutes because we're at 2:37 right now. Sign in. So P-Token ID, SEVCO, Solar EV of Colorado, PBC. This is actually what we're planning on naming the legal entity name. We are in pre-launch and we haven't done a legal entity right now. Right now, this is an official project of Web3 Freedom Club. Not going to unpack what that means here right now. So going into the BPAC assessment, and I'm pretty sure that I've added everybody that's on the call here today. to this, and this is something that if you have time, feel free to go in more details. So one of the things that we started a little bit, and we've been talking about governance today, so let's just go ahead and hop in. And this is one of the things that we'll probably allocate some time on each of our working groups, just so that we can continue to have this as our thoughts, because and then just continue to chip away at, because like I said, this is I think a really beneficial aspect. And I think the sooner that we can probably get our assessment done, and I can't remember exactly what the cost is to submit our fee. I think it's like $150 or something like that. So it's a pretty nominal cost. And I think that that's something that will amplify the underlying value of our things. So let's see, I think that we can just hop right in. So government structures. So let's see here. What is the company's highest level of corporate oversight? Owning management. So board of directors, this is one of the things that we're actually going to be implementing a board of stewards. All of the people on here today, and this is actually something that I'm pretty sure, let me take a look here, because I'm going to go off on a tangent a little bit here. This is the Solar EV app.unlock protocol, and I'll probably have to sign in real quick here. So I'm just grabbing the password real quick for MetaMask, this hot wallet. So board of stewards. So I think the only one that we haven't airdropped is for Nick. And this is something that I will make sure that we get you added here, Nick, to our board of stewards. And this is something that, yeah, so that's for the main solar EV co-op DAO. This isn't even specifically for Colorado yet. So that's one of the things that we'll create our board of stewards with. And again, I'll take that offline. This is something that we might do during our office hours tomorrow, because this is, anyway. Board of stewards, that's going to be the basically the same thing as the board of directors. And you can see for answering this particular question, we earned 1.5 of 1.5 points. And this is something that, again, will continue, and really wanting to invite other people, not necessarily core contributors, to our board of stewards, like our legal attorneys and other key stakeholders in what we're building. So, and I'm going to add a public comments. This is something that we discussed during, I'm going to copy and paste this right here. YouTube link. And I don't, this is the first time that I'm ever doing this B Corp assessment. So it'll be kind of fun to see what that looks like as we continue to go through this process, because that's one of the benefits of being radically transparent with this model, is the opportunity to, and this is one of the things that I'm constantly thinking of as far as like, because ideally I would like to have a page on Solar EV Co-op or solarev.coop for our working group. And that's one of the things that we'll talk about as far as ongoing, like I'm really excited. We just kicked off epic content marketing during our last book club. But anyway, governing body characteristics. The next question here. Which of the following apply to your company's advisory board or board of directors? Advisors members meet at least annually. Advisors members review company. So I think that this is a multi-check here. It is a multi-check. So the goal right now with our board of stewards, and this is something that we actually already have on Let Us Meet, and I'm gonna go off on this tangent because I sometimes do that. But we already put on our right here. This is the Let Us Meet. And if you all could go ahead and add, because I'm the only one looking here that's added the availability. And I'm going to link this up on our Restream here real quick too. So this is our planned first board of stewards meeting. And there's the Let Us Meet for that. And that's something that when we get that dialed in from a tracking standpoint, as far as the time, we'll get an event created. But I'm going to go ahead and add that to our right here. Let me just do a new toggle heading. SEVCO. Board of Stewards. Here's a link to that bookmark. And I'll put on here what that is. Turn it to bigger. Okay, cool. So that's something that I already put forward. And again, this is just our commitment to do the right thing and build a solid organization here. All right, so getting back, advisors, members review company, social, and environmental impact. So this is something we don't have a social environmental impact yet, so I'm not going to check that box. Advisors, members represent or provide expertise from specific stakeholder groups, clients, community members, environmental experts, etc. I'm going to go ahead and check this box because I think that this is already something that we're doing and will continue to commit to do. At least 50% of advisors members are women or individuals from underrepresented social groups. I'm going to go ahead and check this box because I believe that that's something. Now, I don't know if this is something that will continue to unfold, but I believe it is currently. Advisors members are made transparent on company website. So as you can see, when we check those boxes, that allowed us to earn 1.5 points on that too. And I'm just going to copy and paste this. Okay, well, we went through two of those. I'm okay deviating from this. Does anybody else want to go through more of these, or should we go on to something else from our agenda?
Let's keep going.
Keep on going on this or something else?
No, let's go to the next thing on the agenda. We can finish this up later.
Okay, cool. All right, so the next thing I had on the list was resources. And this is one of the things that I'm going to continue to amplify in this manner when I come across some resources. And one of the reasons that I'll continually encourage everybody to work on becoming a subject matter expert at community solar. And one of the things that Nick and I have already had some side conversations about doing a podcast. I know that we've had conversations with other projects in the past on doing a podcast. I'm wanting to do a podcast for Web3 Freedom Club, where in season 1, we're talking about 2 different things. What is Web3 and what is community solar? And by those 2 types of things, and it's very likely that we probably will not have a guest on where we can talk about Web3 and community solar on both of those. Hopefully that will change, but anyway, let me get talking about the community solar programs tracker. This is a resource that I found on the Institute for Local Self-Reliance. Let me make this a little bit bigger here. And one of the reasons that I love the resources that I've been seeing on the Institute for Local Self-Reliance is that they seem to be a lot more aligned with what we're doing and the ethos of what we're building. So anyway, this is, I'm suspecting the states that are on this graph: Colorado, Illinois. What is MA? Maryland? That's MD, isn't it?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Thank you, Tyler. So bad with geography. Massachusetts, Maryland, Minnesota, New Jersey, and New York. So my guess is that these are the top states that community solar programs regulations exist within. And this is one of the things that you can go through and learn some more about. So I'm going to skip going into any more on that and going down the list here. So this is another resource. This is a little bit older, but this is one that I really enjoy the underlying ethos, because this is something that we're going to be dealing with here in Colorado and also is dealt with in Minnesota. New report sheds light on America's monopolized energy sector and how we can fix it. So Colorado is definitely a monopolized state. So are others, though. Excel Energy also operates in Minnesota. But anyway, that's another resource. And this is something that I'm going to also continue to add. They have another resource there, the Community Power Scorecard. And this kind of rates different states as far as where they fall. And looking at Colorado, since this is relevant for us here, and I don't know if I have to click on the map, but that's a different resource. I'm not going to go into details. I'm pretty sure that Colorado was in the B range, and I think that that's evident by the coloration here. And they also have a Energy Rules podcast. I haven't listened to any of their podcast episodes, but moving down the resources here, this is these 2 resources are a lot more detailed about Colorado specifically. I don't know if there's any newer resources than this, but this is a very detailed report that's very related to us. Insights from the Colorado Energy Office. This report was done on a community solar demonstration project. And this is another report that was commissioned by the Colorado Energy Office. Similar, and this one was done, I believe, in 2015, November 2015. So one of the other opportunities that we have, does anybody else want to talk about resources that you potentially came across here this last week before we move on? Okay, cool. Didn't see any mics come open. So the NCSP. So one of the things, this is one of the resources that was required that at least one person from the team had joined the National Community Solar Partnership, and they actually sent out an email. And let me see if I can find that email real quick that they sent out. Let me see. I think it's let me do a search here real quick. And this is something that I'm going to upload as well. I didn't have this linked on the agenda right here. So this was an email that I received, and one of the cool things that happens is that anybody that's joins, they get added to the WhatsApp. And this was one that they just sent out for October 6th. And and let me link this YouTube video in here, because this is one that I think everybody should have. Get the link here. Here's the link. So anyway, the thing that I was wanting to show was welcome new partners. NCSP grew by 27 partners this week. And this was the main one that I was wanting to show here was on this page, myself, Decentralized Community Solar got added to this list. So looking forward to seeing other team members as they get added to the NCSP as a partner, that you will also be listed on this so that we can utilize the resources, because there's a lot of resources that are available, and we'll be talking. I think that there's an opportunity that I've listed as an agenda here later on that. So the link to join the National Community Solar Partnership is this one right here. And I'm going to throw this on the live stream, because the thing that's great about this is that this resource does not cost anything. And I love promoting resources that do not cost anything, because there are some other resources that cost a lot. So this is join the NCSP. So the other opportunity besides the NCSP, and I'm going to actually talk about the, before I move on, the technical assistance, because this is one of the things that may be an opportunity for us to actually get done here during the webinar, because this is one of the things, I'm not sure how detailed the application is. So this is the forum. I'm currently signed in here. So as contributing or participating in the we get free technical assistance. So, and you can see here, especially for those who are new to NCSP. So here's the apply today link. So let me see what this looks like. Old, do not use. For the current version, please go here. So make this bigger. The National Community Solar Partnership is a U.S. Department of Energy program with the goal of expanding access to affordable community solar to every American household. The NCSP seeks to power the equivalent of 5 million households with community solar by 2025. It's a very aggressive goal. I'm not sure what the current number is. Technical assistance eligibility. Before requesting technical assistance, take advantage of these other community solar resources. Sorry, the survey is not. So one of the things I think and I'm pretty sure that everybody that's on the call enrolled. We didn't have the requirement that everybody needed to go through here. I'm going to open up this to circle back to this later. The Municipal Utility Community Solar Workbook. So I'll take a look at that and add that to our resources section. So this probably has more information than I'm really wanting to go through during the live stream. So this is something that we may circle back on during the office hours tomorrow. We'll take a look at some of these questions here and see if we've got to get the, because I would prefer to get the technical assistance conversation going with available channels sooner than later. And that's one of the things I'm going to actually go back to our HeroX for community energy innovation and see what other resources are available on this tab real quick. So this is one of the things, the better that we can utilize the resources for building our project, and not only our project, but I'm really looking at this as also building our collateral for our security token offering that we're going to do as well. So it doesn't look like that there's a whole lot of other stuff besides the official rules and the power connectors on here. And I'll send an email to these other power connectors to kick off the conversation so that we can start having these conversations earlier so that we can, again, leverage the resources that are available in this prize. So check this box, Community Power Accelerator. So this is another dynamic. I copied everybody on an email. We do have our organization approved, and this is something that I would encourage everybody to go through. So let me see here, your projects. So right now we are in a pending status for our one project. Our primary project that we're going to spend the most resources on is the 24-hour fitness parking lot at Diagonal Plaza in Boulder. And I should probably talk about, I think I'm going to bring that up here real quick, is our portfolio project that we submitted. So in Community Power Accelerator, let me go to that page real quick. So our team entry for Community Power Accelerator, and I'll just bring open the what we submitted here. So this is one of the things that included in our portfolio narrative was our site selection process. So our goal is to build distributed energy resources that include 3 components: parking lot, canopy, and or rooftop, smart battery, DC fast charging. And I slightly modified this because, as you will see here within this portfolio narrative, 2 of the 3 sites that I selected for submitting in we've got the parking lot canopy, and there may be an opportunity to do rooftop solar on the 24-hour fitness and other buildings there as a component of this project, but that's something that we'll unpack as that conversation matures. So to move on to this next section, the site selection process. To capitalize on our projects, we insist on stacking as many green energy incentives as possible. Energy community, hard hit coals. So that really allowed us to narrow down to several geographic zones. And that's one of the things that highlighted within this. So the site in Boulder was the 24-hour fitness, already mentioned that. In Welby, a 70th Avenue self-storage. Self-storage has a lot of buildings that are ideal for installing rooftop solar on. And the location of this would be also check some of the other boxes as far as the Department of Transportation within less than 1 mile of fuel corridors. And you can see this location, there's all kinds of highways. I believe, I know I-25 absolutely is. I believe I-76 is. Not sure about 270, but either way, it's got great access from I-25 to 70th right over here to build a DC fast charger for our distributed energy model with solar EV. So the other one was the brownfield, the hard hit coal in Inglewood at the Dartmouth Industrial Complex. And here was the map that I carved out. This is in Inglewood over at Santa Fe and Hamden in that area. Again, a great access from a highway standpoint. 285 is a designated Department of Alternative Fuel Corridor. So those are the 3 sites that we have shortlisted. These sites, we've not had any, as you can see, project stage, preliminary, no contact and or agreement with site owner. And that's one of the things as these conversations unfold, we'll share that with everybody here. So I just wanted to unpack that because this is something that was finalized within, because one of the requirements for our Community Power Accelerator Round 2 was that we had to have at least 2 portfolio projects included within our portfolio narrative for consideration. And one of the things that I'm excited about is getting feedback for our submission as we work on our narrative and our project and our business model for our Community Energy Innovation Prize submission coming up here. So does anybody want to chime in? Any thoughts on these 3 sites, or as far as thoughts on how to best move forward from a conversation standpoint?
I think this is good stuff. This will narrow down the corridors a lot to where you should be looking at.
Yeah, and just to recap, and one of the things that we need to have some conversations, and had some side conversations a little bit with Amy, who is our global market strategist here at Solar EV. And one of the things that we really need to do is to develop our process with verifying low and moderate income. And I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole today, but we can have some side conversations, maybe during our office hours tomorrow. I'm thinking that would probably be the best place for that. But I did want to also show, so besides the portfolio narrative, one of the other things that was a really important component is in our project for not only the community, or not the community, but the Solar Prize Round 7, and also the Community Power Accelerator Round 2, was this was the roadmap that we submitted for our project. So this is something that I uploaded on Google Docs. I'm going to go ahead and share the link on this. This is something that we've got on our, here's the link on the live stream, and our Solar EV road map. And this is something that we have a strong opportunity for amplifying in a better, I don't want bullet points to really convey our roadmap, but this was something that was easy to do for submitting within our 2 narratives that we already submitted for. So this is the, and we already, like, we've checked these 2 things right here. This is one of the things that love doing. So one of the things that will be interesting to see, and this is something that I think is very doable, and these aren't dates that are set in stone if we need to modify those. And this is something that I want to talk about. We've talked about the low income, low moderate LMI. We're just going to call it LMI here, low moderate income LMI households. So LMI households, if we can get our subscriber agreement finalized for our low to moderate income households, LMI households, by the end of October, I would be super happy with that, because then that would provide basically, and you can see the related bullet point is to onboard 10 LMI households. So that would give us 2 whole months to only onboard 10 LMI households. And then the other component is 100 gig working drivers. And that's something that we'll continue to have conversations about as far as the best strategy for doing that. I've got a really exciting idea around a movement marketing campaign. Probably not going to unpack that here today. But I shared the link here for the roadmap. Let me keep on going. Does anybody want to chime in any thoughts, like I covered, I think the other one is the solar EV parking lot site finalized within target area. That basically gives us pretty much the entire month of October. I guess the first week of October is already behind us, but we still have 3+ weeks of October. I'm really hoping that we can get a parking lot letter of commitment done. I'm not sure if that's realistic or not. Those conversations will absolutely amplify. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking and let everybody else chime in some thoughts as far as these initial roadmap items that we've put forward here now.
So Jason and I just got back from this global real estate conference in my new firm, and one of the sessions that we went to was all about green and solar, and it wasn't just about solar, but green initiatives in general, and met a lot of people who had a lot of connections, and also got a chance to connect with the commercial division of this company. So I'm hoping to reach out to a lot of those people, and also my state level manager is pretty interested in environmental stuff, so hoping he can make some intros too. So that's the latest on how we're hoping to move forward instead of just doing cold calls and random meetings and trying to find people that way.
Hi, Jason, Tyler, Nick. This is Amy. Anyway, I suggest that we put that like an offer or a memorandum of understanding to put together that letter that the parking lot owners or whoever owns the property can look at and show their attorneys if that would work for them. I think that's the best thing we could, in order to make it happen. They need to have something in front of them that they can refer to their attorneys and see if that partnership or that, collaboration will work.
Yeah, and I think that there's also some, besides the site owner, there's absolutely a lot of opportunity for us to foster some conversation with the local municipalities. Because at the end of the day, regardless if any of these sites don't materialize, this is something that there's an immense amount of opportunity surrounding. And I think that it may be even easier to foster the conversation with the site owner. Now, one of the things that was kind of interesting when I was starting to unpack what was going on with Boulder and community solar, and let me just do a Google search here for Boulder community solar, because it appears that Boulder is, and let me change this to within the past year. So it looks like, and Solar United Neighbors is, so I may even go through and see if we can join the co-op here. Tyler and I have been looking. Anyway, I'm gonna take this offline. Solar United Neighbors also provides an opportunity for the house that we're in right now. I don't think that we've actually gone through the process here with this. And anyway, they're going through a process right now. And here's another article. So let me link up everybody here. Because there's some events in person that are coming up, and I'm going to participate in person. And let me link this on to the Restream as well. So discussing Boulder's county-wide solar co-op. Because I don't know how that this cooperative through Solar United Neighborhoods, and here's the link on Solar United Neighborhoods. I don't have enough experience as far as Solar United Neighbors, but this is already something that Boulder, the local municipality, has done. Here's another. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff besides this type of thing with Solar United Neighbors, like with the Inflation Reduction Act. And this is one of the reasons that we have leaned so heavily into solar EV is because of the I do absolutely agree, Amy, that but one of the things that we don't have yet is we don't have our own agreement as far as like, because right now the conversations they haven't even happened. So it's like preliminary. And I would really like, I've got some ideas as far as structuring a deal. I don't know enough, because one of the things that's also more interesting about Diagonal Plaza in Boulder is I think that there's multiple property owners that may be involved. And that's one of the things that I would like to have a better understanding to navigate those questions as best as possible. But we'll continue to have conversations, and that's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to doing. Like one of the other opportunities that we've got that already talked about was the collegiate track, colleges. One of the other, besides colleges, that we really feel is a strong fit with community solar are with libraries, and each municipality normally has their own library district that's at a county level. And Tyler is a huge fan of libraries, and that's something that she's going to be driving from a conversation standpoint. School districts are another one, because when you're thinking about buildings and resources that serve the general public, schools and libraries and like other types of community buildings are absolutely ideal candidates for this sort of distributed energy resource. And the more that we can foster that, I think will really allow us to amplify being an energy innovator as far as what the panel, the judges for this particular contest are, besides just doing some of the no-brainer aspects. But anyway, does anybody else want to chime anything else on the roadmap before we move on to the next items on our agenda?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, cool. And again, the goal with the roadmap is to make this a lot prettier and more accessible in other manners besides on a Google Doc right now. But this is one of the things, since it was something that we submitted for 2 of our projects, wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page here. So we did a great job going through a lot of agenda here today. And this is one of the things that want to get better at as far as putting some things on our agenda. But I wanted to go back to the carry over here, time permitting, discuss office hours agenda for tomorrow. So before we move on, was there anything else from today that we really wanted to discuss to have a solid foundation for our Community Energy Prize submission coming up here? And it looks like Brooke hears Daddy's voice and she's hollering for Daddy to come get her out of her nap.
I'll be down in a minute.
Awesome. Thanks, Tyler. So let's see. I don't even know if I have. Okay, so so I can update this for, let me make this a little bit bigger. And I'm going to just update this to CEIP office hours. So we're doing Monday at I think 2 p.m. if I remember correctly. So I'm going to add the governance for SEVCO, Solar EV of Colorado. So what else would you all like to do during our office hours tomorrow? And you can absolutely have between now and tomorrow to consider that, but wanting to capture some items here. And this is one of the things wanting to get better at is having discussions as far as what we're going through during our office hours and working groups. And again, the vision for office hours is to be a lot more ad hoc where people can pop in here. Like one of the things that I'm excited about is one of the people that participated in our kickoff event, he scheduled a 30-minute conversation tomorrow. And that's one of the things, a lot of people aren't familiar with this type of a format, being radically transparent and building in public and contributing in public. But one of the things that we do that I'm excited about is using a tokenized economic incentive, like for participating today. And that's something else that we'll probably do. I'm going to add this to our office hours for tomorrow. Work on reconciliation for airdrops for previously submitted to HeroX projects, WG1 through 9, which was 2023 Q3. So that's something that hopefully we'll be able to do the airdrop. And that's one of the things that I want us to get a lot better at. I would actually like to potentially allocate a time during our working group where we can actually go through. And this is one of the things that I would like to see improve upon from potentially a workflow standpoint, is automating some of the stuff from a technology standpoint as well. So that will be enough between now and tomorrow. What else? We've got 40 minutes left, but I'm quite okay with giving people back 40 minutes on their Sunday here. I feel really good about what we've gone through. It's, as always, a lot of information that we cover in a shorter period of time, and that's one of the reasons that we use this format so that we can go back. Actually, there is one other thing. I wanted to see what the best AI tools for Zoom meetings. So this is one of the things that wanting to implement from a tool to better keep track of our working groups.
Yeah, there's one called Firefly that I think you can have just join the meetings, and then it'll give us a summary at the end and call out all the action items. So that might be valuable. And then tomorrow we might want to look at the GitHub setup. And then I also know you were talking about possible email alternatives. I think I found some stuff that we could look at tomorrow.
Okay, cool. I will put that on for the office hours. Discuss email solutions. Work on GitHub organizations. And one of the things too, we only talked about solar EV from an organization standpoint. This is functionally a project of Web3 Freedom Club. So while we're doing the solar EV co-op, also put the same stuff in for Web3 Freedom Club. And that's one of the things that I'll, if time permitting between now and tomorrow, like I've been procrastinating, working on using Figma to create like a workable visualization from an organization / entity chart here. And I know that that's something that Tyler and Amy have both asked for. And Figma is one solution. I've already talked Nick to about Mermaid. I'm actually going to grab that book here real quick. Mermaid is a book here that I got the official guide for, and that's one of the things I'm going to do some research, because we've talked about patent pending for our stuff. I think that there's a strong opportunity to explore what existing patents exist, and then also create a patent around decentralized community solar and/or virtual power plants. So, and Figma is, I think, probably an easier tool for most people to use. I think that Mermaid will probably be a better tool to also use, but that's something that I don't have some experience with. I played around with Figma a little bit, but I'm not going to pretend to be an expert with either one of those. So I added that. Did this capture the work on GitHub organizations, discuss email solutions? Did that capture those two things, Nick?
Yeah, I think that got it.
So one of the other things that wanted to talk about was, I think that there's a strong opportunity for us to do a Web3 investment club for Cryptorado. So besides the meetup group there at Seed Stock Brewery, and then the one that we're doing at Satire Brewing in North Denver, my thoughts is that I would like to have an investment club, a Web3 investment club that we, either Tyler and or myself or both of us, whatever, could start contributing $100 a month to. Because one of the things that really wanting to create is an avenue where we don't have to do a public token offering, where we can use an increasingly hyper-local network of investment clubs to really lean into the circular and regenerative economy model that we're building. So I think that there's a strong opportunity. Well, we can talk more about that here in person and online, but that's something that I would really like to hopefully foster through a conversation standpoint here in October, where we could launch that potentially in November, if not sooner. So I'm not even going to capture that anywhere specifically, but going back to our working group agenda or our office hours, what else do we want to talk about today? Oh, one of the other things I wanted to get done here today was bitgreen.org. So tax credits. So Bitgreen is an on-chain solution for investment tax credits and carbon credits. And this is one of the potential solutions that we can use to streamline the tax credits aspect. I'm really expecting the tax credits and the transferability of those tax credits to really make the magic viable for the solar EV model. So this is one of the things that was wanting to book a time for. So we've got our working group tomorrow, and let me see what times are available. So it looks like the Bitgreen team has the window from, and these are mountain times, from 7 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. or 2:30 p.m. Should we just make our office hours tomorrow the first half of that, like 2 to 2:30, and then grab this 2:30 time slot for Bitgreen? How does that sound to everybody?
That's fine with me. I did reach out to Bitgreen just to see if they would respond. I haven't heard anything back, but I think that was Friday evening. So we'll see. Monday morning, they might get back to me.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and fill this out and grab this time slot. So this will allow us, and if we want to potentially just talk about, and I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about as far as this. They're the experts on this piece, and they have an on-chain solution. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this time slot tomorrow. So we'll actually make our office hours tomorrow, just the first half hour, and then the second half hour we can have this conversation with BitGreen. I'm also going to be moving the conversations along with our potential security token partners, and that's one of the things that we'll continue to discuss here in Q4, because we haven't finalized who the most ideal partner is. I shared the resource in the LinkedIn chat with that security token advisors report. I haven't gone through that myself, but I'm also planning on joining the Security Token Advisors Success Network to connect with other security token leaders and thought leaders that may have some additional experience to chime in on that. But anything else that we want to discuss or think about here for this upcoming week to move this project forward?
I'm gonna research that MOU and see if there's any kind of document that we could use to preliminarily like present what we're trying to do. And I don't know if I can present it for the next office hour, but I'll try to work on that.
That would be fabulous. And one of the things that I haven't talked about here, this is something that we'll talk about more. We love using tools, and this is one of the things. Building a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, DWork is one of the tools that we use for task management. And this is one of the things that we will continue to talk about. We put forward like some reconciliation with the work that we've done already for the previous working groups for the submission of our 2 projects. And this is one of the tools that we're going to use for keeping track of the tasks. And I would really like to see the people that are contributing to the project have some understanding and be able to confidently create tasks for themselves and or the community at large. And that's one of the things that we'll again start to unpack and talk about more. I'll try to create some between now and our office hours tomorrow, so that can bring that forward there tomorrow as well. But Tyler had to hop off. She said that there was too much noise. Did you, Amy, or Nick want to give us any final thoughts before we bring today's working group to a close?
Nothing coming to mind here.
I'm good. You all have a good rest of your Sunday.
You as well, and I love hanging out with you all. I saw Nick open up his mic. Go ahead, Nick.
Oh, I was saying you guys have a good Sunday too.
All righty. Well, we'll catch up on our office hours tomorrow. We'll have the office hours for 30 minutes, and then we'll have the conversation with BitGreen for 30 minutes. And I'll make sure that both of those get on your calendar. And for now, the calendar stuff, one of the things, just as an FYI, the Let Us Meet, and this is something that I've already shared, our usage for Let Us Meet will probably shrink a little bit as we get our office hours regularly scheduled. But with that Let Us Meet that we scheduled here during our live stream for the office hours tomorrow, it'll have a Google Meet link on there. That won't be relevant. I'll share from Web3 Freedom Club the office hours, and probably the other one may come from somewhere else. I'm not sure. A lot of that will depend on what it looks like to get the conversation with BitGreen scheduled for the 2:30 time slot from 2:30 to 3 tomorrow afternoon. But we'll catch up with you all tomorrow about the same time, 2 o'clock, and then we'll continue to move this project forward, because This is a project that I'm so excited about and love building with you all.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thank you all.
Bye.